On this weekly series, I take you behind the scenes of building a real life SaaS business. My co-founder and I are taking on the challenge of taking a SaaS business that's brand new and zero revenues and taking it to $1 million ARR using all the principles that I teach in this channel. So it's a behind the scenes look, it's a raw look, it's an honest look of everything that's going on. And I give it to you straight on exactly where we are in the business. I show you the metrics, I show you the principles, I show you the next stage of things that we're tackling. And sometimes it's super boring and sometimes it's super exciting, and we give you both. But the point is we give you the real life back behind the scenes view of what's going on. So if you are new to this channel, welcome. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and that bell icon because I bring you 3 episodes every week to help you, a SaaS founder, navigate to the next stage of growth, navigate to product market fit and beyond. And also, if you're back, welcome back. Really excited to have you here. So on this episode, I'm going to be talking a little bit around this thing called heads down mode. And I'm going to be digging a little bit more into it. So if you're excited to dig into today's story time with TK and the Hey Man with TK, be sure to smash that like button and let's get started. But first, a little bit of context. If you are new, we are, as I mentioned, we're taking a SaaS business from 0 to $1 million ARR. We're building out this thing called Unstoppable Life School. Unstoppable Life School is a SaaS platform. It's a training platform. It's an education platform. It's a bunch of different things. It's a B2C SaaS product that helps you plan your week, create a life plan, and adopt an unstoppable mindset, and essentially run at peak performance. So it's in the mental health space. We're super excited about it. We've got our initial revenues. We've validated the product. We're now starting to really crank it and really get activation going, really get the software going. And so we're taking it to $1 million ARR. That's our goal. If you want to learn a little bit more about what the product does, if you want to plan your week and you want to plan your life and you want to get your mental health right, you want to reduce the Sunday anxiety, you can go check it out at unstoppablesunday.com. Now, today I want to dig a little bit into, by the way, we're on episode 6 on this. And all the prior episodes we put into a playlist. You can follow the link below to watch prior episodes where we've literally gone through how we validated our market. We've gone through how we built out our unstoppable sales funnel. We've gone through, I don't even know what I explained here, but it must have been really exciting. I think this is our unstoppable sales funnel and how it works. In the last episode, we talked through how we're thinking about activating users and what's our core loop. And today, I was like, okay, what do we talk about? And I was like, I don't have anything exciting to report. We're just kind of cranking away. And it reminded me of this blog post that I did. Even before I started this YouTube channel, I used to blog consistently whenever I was building out my last SaaS business, ToutApp, which we took from 0 to 7 million ARR. We sold it to a company called Marketo. Then I worked at Marketo, which was a SaaS business, and sold it to Adobe for $4.75 billion. So it was like, that was my last SaaS journey. And even during then, I blogged consistently. And these blog posts are actually on my blog still. So you can go to tkkader.com. But it reminded me of this one blog post that I did. This was August 4th, 2012. And I called it Heads Down Mode. And the way I thought about Heads Down Mode, well, here's what got me thinking about the episode. What got me thinking about the episode of that blog post was, this is how we usually hear about the startup journey outside in. There's a whole bunch of fanfare like, oh, I'm going to quit my job, I'm going to start a business. Then you hear nothing. And then there's a whole bunch of fanfare like, oh, we're launched, we're super excited. And back then you launched on TechCrunch, now you launch on Product Hunt, and then you hear nothing. And then months, years, maybe later, it could be a totally different business even by that time. You hear like, oh my God, we're legit, we have so much revenues and we just raised this large round, or we're profitable. And then you hear nothing. And that was kind of like the outside in view that I got. And it frustrated me. Because I'm like, did they just get that overnight? How come no one talks about what happens between post Product Hunt launch and up until when you are legit and making tons of money and you're like the stud? No one talks about that middle piece. And I felt that when I was aspiring to be a startup founder. I was aspiring to be a startup founder and I felt that. And I'm like, how come no one talks about this? And so that's when I started thinking, all right, I want to actually share in my journey. And that's what this post was about. It's called Heads Down Mode. And Heads Down Mode is kind of what you get into when this, and this graphic I found was perfect for it. There's the TechCrunch of initiation, the wearing off of novelty, the trough of sorrow, the releases of improvement, the crash of ineptitude, the wiggles of false hope, the promised land, and then acquisition of liquidity, right? And that's that piece, like post-launch up until like you figure stuff out, is heads down mode, and not enough of us talk about it. And that's kind of what I talked about. I'm like, look, like why founders go silent? Because there's not a lot to talk about, even though we should. The joy is in the little things that we're doing. And there's no amazing mind-blowing news to report. This is like today's episode. There's no mind-blowing news. I'm like, oh my God, we did this. Like, no, this is the truth. It's kind of boring, but we're just going through that Shawshank crawl of like, how do we get this to be cranking, right? And I talked in the blog post, like, and I'll link to this below. You can read it. We need to talk more about being heads down mode, because this is something that we all do. And I pledged over here where I would share in my journey more, and that'll stay true to that. I blog every year about this. This was 2012. I blogged almost every year, and now I do a weekly vlog on this, a video episode. So I've stuck to that ethos because A, I wanted to share in the journey. I wanted to show others what's possible. And B, honestly, I was always that kid. I don't know if you were one of those, like you had a friend or you were one of those people. I was always the kid when I was in school, like middle school, elementary school, even high school. I was the one that always created those little crib sheets. Like whenever a test was coming, I would create these perfect 4-page summary study notes of like, here's everything you need to know. It's kind of ironic that this is what I do now for a living on YouTube. But I used to create these crib sheets on like how to study for any exam, whatever was coming up. And they were in demand. Like I used to type them up, and lo and behold, like at least 10 of my friends would be like, oh, can I like get your copy of that? And I'd be like, that's weird, but sure. And I was happy to give it to them because the value that I got was just in the act of summarizing and creating that crib sheet for myself. It helped me study, but it helped me conceptualize the notes even more. And so I do this stuff because when I share it with you guys, it helps me conceptualize everything a lot more. When I blogged back in the day, it helped me share what I was learning and conceptualize everything that I was learning a lot more. So it was valuable to me, but it was also valuable to others. And so I was like, hey, I'll be sharing blog posts, and now I do a vlog. I just want to share in the journey and share everything that I learned. But I want you guys to know, like I committed to do this series where I'm like, all right, every Friday we're going to drop an episode. We're going to show you how we're taking a business from 0 to $1 million ARR, right? And not every week there's going to be amazing news. And I want you guys to understand that this concept of heads down mode is a real thing. And it's okay. If you are building out your SaaS business and you're kind of like in this trough of sorrow, just know there's going to be the wiggles of false hope. But after the wiggles of false hope, there's still going to be some dips. And after that, there's going to be the promised land, and they're going to take off. But in the way there's going to be crash of ineptitude, right? That is the Shawshank crawl to get to creating something out of nothing, to go from 0 to 1. And that's okay. We just need to be acknowledged, like, look, I'm in heads down mode. And right now I'm in heads down mode. So you might be wondering, what does heads down mode look like? Honestly, like even with like my co-founder and I, like heads down mode it's not like the Hollywood shot. Like we're like coding furiously. It's honestly, we like the loop that we follow right now, and maybe like you're doing this right now, is like hopefully you're doing this, is basically you pick this one unit metric, right? For us, we're working on activation right now. And basically this unit metric, you basically measure it, right? And then you run an experiment. We make some tweak and then we run it. And then we wait. And then we wait. And then we say, did it work? And then based on that, if it's a yes or a no, we basically then go back to the unit metric, we look at it and we run another experiment, and then we wait. And this is literally our lives right now. Basically, we just keep running experiments, and then we keep watching the metric, and then we wait, and we try and do it in a disciplined way, and little by little, we improve our stats. So if you look, this is the dashboard. We give this to you inside of SaaS School as well. This is the dashboard. These are our core metrics. We were looking at how many leads are we getting. We're looking at how much revenues we're generating. And little by little, we know that we're getting our manifesto into more people's hands. We're generating revenues from that. We know that more and more people are actually practicing Sunday on a regular basis. And so that's also good. And so we're just basically constantly just tweaking and running experiments, and tracking the metrics. And that's all we're doing right now. And that's kind of what I meant here. Like, it's funny that, there's nothing new under the sun. Like, this is my third company, right? It's not any different. We don't have all the answers. We've validated a bunch of stuff and we're just going through the process. What matters is you follow the steps and you don't give up. It's only the people that give up that are assured defeat. But if you keep going, then you're going to be successful. And for us, I've been through it enough times. My co-founder has been through it enough times. So we know we're in this heads down mode. We're basically just like, we've already announced we're doing this. We've got a bunch of people flowing in. We've got a bunch of people practicing. Revenue is slowly starting to come up. And we're just like, look, let's just do what's necessary. First, solve activation, then solve retention, then solve referral, then go back to acquisition and scale acquisition because we know activation retention is working. That's it. That is it. And right now we're in this heads down mode. And what that means is not every episode is going to be like, oh my God, things are amazing. Some will be. Others are going to be like, yep, we're just tweaking the metrics and we're just following the process. It's friggin' boring, but oh my God, it'll add up. It'll add up to something incredible. You think about this article, I wrote this 2012, heads down mode, right? And I'm like, I don't know, 2012, we were just like figuring stuff out. We hadn't even pivoted into just focusing on salespeople yet, or we were barely getting there. 2013 was the year we really, really cranked everything and got the revenues flowing and got to cash flow break even and then raised our Series A. So I didn't even know, like, maybe I thought I was in this, trough of sorrow at that time. Or maybe I thought I was right at the promised land. But if it's true to the timeline, August 4, 2012, we were really under the wiggles of false hope. And there was a bunch of fixes we needed to make, but we stayed disciplined. We kept going. And that was the year I really learned this whole thing around how to build an unstoppable sales funnel to start getting the message out there and the category out there and to really hone in the ICP. I learned a lot after this blog post, but it was because I went into heads down mode. Why do I share this? And the reason I share this is the whole point of this series is to take a SaaS business from 0 to $1 million ARR. And my promise to you is to basically give it to you raw every Friday. I'm not going to make stuff up. I'm not going to create theatrics for the sake of the show. I don't care. Like, this is not how I make money. I make my money in other ways. And so I'm here to like really, really give you the true behind the scenes. And so last few weeks, like, we had some unlocks and we were solving some exciting things. We put a bunch into play. This week, honestly, we've got a bunch of stuff into play. Our core metrics are starting to tickle up. And we're like, all right, let's just wait and see. And we're in this heads down mode of we're just going to wait and see. We're going to see how it goes and we're going to tweak it. If it gets better, then we're going to tweak it. If it gets better, we're going to tweak it. And literally, we are essentially in this loop of we know what our core metric is. We're trying to activate more people that are coming in. And we're going to keep running experiments to make sure we activate more and more and more and more people. And we're tethered to this metric. And we keep going. And we know at some point it's going to click perfectly. And then it's going to be like, all right, let's like scale this thing. So this is what it takes. This is honestly what it takes to go from 0 to $1 million ARR. This is a big part of it. And there's no cool Hollywood highlight reel of this, but this is what it takes. You set down the set of metrics and you set the goals and you run a bunch of experiments and you keep making it go higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. And what we hope is over the next 4 to 8 weeks, we really crank people converting from the webinar to our school enrollment, which is our full package. We also hope that we have more and more people are activating. Those are the two things we're really focused on. How do we get more people to buy up front? And we'll explain this in the next episode, what our two pricing models are. And then the other thing is how do we get more people to activate? That's it. Those are the two things we're focused on. We're going to keep running experiments on that. And that's essentially called heads down mode. And so if you're in heads down mode, hit me with a yes in the comments below. Let me know where you're at. Also, my Twitter handle is here, so it's linked below. So like, follow me on Twitter, hit me up on the DMs, tell me about what you're working on. If you want to commiserate over being in heads down mode, I'd love to hear from you. You can check out my website. I have a whole bunch of blog posts in there as well. Super exciting. These are like OG blog posts before I started a YouTube channel. So you can check that out from the Tout App journey. Also, in the next episode, I'm going to dig a little bit more into what we're doing to really get our pricing right and get more people committed up front versus sort of the slow burn product-led growth approach. So we'll talk more about that. So Anyway, that's all I have for you today. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash that like button. If you're seeing us for the first time, welcome. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon. The Friday episodes are a different format. I kind of just talk to you like this and take you behind the scenes. Monday and Wednesday, I bring you more of a actionable video on specific SaaS growth topics. So be sure to hit the subscribe button and that bell icon so that you get notified. Also, if you're in that stage where you're growing your SaaS business and you're looking to take it to the next level of next stage of growth, grow revenues, get to product market fit, all of that, be sure to download my 5-point startup strategy guide. In my startup strategy guide, I go into more in depth on a lot of these principles that we're applying. And inside of it, you'll also learn more about my SaaS School program. My SaaS School and my SaaS Go-to-Market program are coaching programs for SaaS founders where I work with you to actually implement all of this stuff in the proper way. And the details are in the guide, but the guide has a whole bunch of other resources. So I encourage you to download that guide. It's completely free. Go to getunstoppable.com/strategy or just follow the link below. If you want to watch the prior episodes, this is episode number 6. If you want to see the prior episodes of this series of the 0 to 1 million ARR, I'll link to that playlist below as well so you can binge watch the prior episodes. If you want me to cover specific aspects of SaaS growth, put it in the comments below. Also follow me on Twitter at TAWHEED. I'll link to it below as well. And also remember, everyone needs a strategy for their life and their business. When you are with us, yours is going to be unstoppable. I'm TK, and I'll see you in the next episode.